Throughout the day, your brain naturally goes through 4 different stages of brain waves. In 1875, while experimenting on the open brains of rabbits and monkeys, an English physician named Richard Caton discovered these brainwaves. Later, in 1924, a German neurologist named Hans Berger discovered a way to measure and graph these brainwaves without opening the human skull, and thus the electroencephalograph, also known as the EEG, was born. This machine is not always accurate, but it usually gets the job done. Using an EEG, you can measure these brainwaves using hertz. 1 hertz equals 1 cycle per second. In order from most active to least active, these stages are beta, alpha, theta, and delta. Beta waves range from 13 to 40 hertz and are linked to enhanced attention and memory task performance. Alpha waves range from 8 to 13 hertz. This stage correlates with subjective relaxation while awake. Theta waves range from 4 to 7 hertz, which aid in deep meditation or a relaxed state of mind. And delta waves, which range only from 1/2 to 4 hertz, coincide with improved creativity and deep dreamless sleep. As I said before, your brain goes through these stages naturally every day, but wouldn't it be nice if you could choose which stage to be in? Using auditory entrainment, this is completely possible for most people. There are 3 types of auditory entrainment: binaural, monaural, and isochronic. The effects of all 3 types take place within the alveolar nuclei of the brainstem, which aids in coordination, cognitive tasks, and processing sensory information. Binaural beats are considered the weakest form for the reason that they tend to take the longest to bring your mind into the desired state of consciousness. Binaural beats work by playing 2 slightly different tones to the left and right ears. The brain distinguishes this as a new tone. The frequency of this new tone is the difference of each individual frequency. For example, if you took one tone of 315 Hz and another tone of 325 Hz, the amplitude range or binaural auditory beat would be 10 Hz. Since 10 Hz fits into the alpha range of 8 to 13 Hz, your brain would move into the alpha state of consciousness within a few minutes. However, because of the way this beat works, you are required to wear headphones to feel the effects. Otherwise, when listened to through speakers, the 2 tones mix together in the air, and your brain doesn't distinguish them in the same way. Next up, you have monaural beats. This type is different in the way that both tones are played through both speakers and mix in the air before they reach your ears. Because of this, headphones are not required to feel the effects. However, they are still recommended. These are considered slightly more effective than binaural beats and take less time to bring your mind into the desired state of consciousness. The newest and most effective form of auditory entrainment are called isochronic tones. This is the use of a single tone turned on and off with a moment of silence in between each tone, making each tone much more distinct to the human ear. As it proceeds, the pulse slowly speeds up. Again, headphones are not required for this type, but they are recommended to feel the full effect. Now you may be thinking, well, if isochronic tones are so much more effective than binaural and monaural tones, then why would I even consider those 2? But just because isochronic tones work faster and show results quicker doesn't mean that they are necessarily better. And I'm going to show you why you might consider the other 2 here with an example. To show you the difference, I will play each type of tone at a frequency of 40 Hz. You won't receive the full effect, but you should at least be able to hear the difference. Here's binaural. Here's monaural. And here's isochronic. Now from that example, you can probably understand why some people prefer monaural or binaural over isochronic tones, right? But remember, this is all personal preference, so if it makes you happy, go for it. Although the discovery of these tones was not until 1839 by Heinrich Wilhelm Dove, the same concepts have been used for ages, such as Omkar chanting, which is often used in yoga, Tibetan monks chanting, and even Native American drums. While researching auditory entrainment, I found some very interesting and mixed opinions on it. Several news stations actually did news stories on it, calling it iDoser, believing that the effects of these tones actually get you high. Some high schools are actually taking this very seriously. Take a look.
Websites now claim listening to specific sounds can make you feel like you've taken real drugs. The marketing looks illegal, but it's not. You can buy the individual drug doses or buy them bundled, like the Wasted Pack, which promises all the effects of opium, cocaine, and marijuana. There are more than 1,000 YouTube videos of people experimenting with iDosing. Many feature teenagers twitching and screaming, appearing spaced out and confused. This teen, who we'll call Zach, admits to doing a lot of digital drugs. He is currently in rehab at Tarzana Treatment Center for his addiction to real drugs.
Is it like really getting high?
Yeah, honestly, like it's not exactly the same, but it's near the same.
You know, this really is a new thing. So new, in fact, that there seem to be no studies that indicate what effect, if any, it will have on your brain. So we went to a brain imaging specialist. He actually measured my brain waves while I was listening to something that simulated being intoxicated. This is what it sounds like. It's not music, but two different frequencies played into each ear at the same time.
Starting to feel like a lightheaded kind of euphoria.
The website says the experience should be like shotgunning 5 glasses of gin.
My hands got tingly and light.
I never actually felt drunk, but it did affect me.
I felt at one point that if I stood up, I'd be a little wobbly.
We could actually see that the iDosing was having an effect on your brain. That at times your brain was calmer, but at other times it was firing more erratically.
Dr. Amen stresses every brain will respond differently.
Your theta, which is more associated with seizure activity, now goes way up.
And while it seems as safe as putting on a set of headphones, it can be especially dangerous for kids.
Their brain isn't fully developed. And as we've shown today, that this actually can change brain function, but we don't know if it's going to do it in a good way or a bad way.
Now, I'm not going to hate on these people for being misinformed, but keep in mind that the idea that these tones get you high is completely false. On the other hand, while looking at websites such as psychic101.com, I found nothing but positive reviews on the effects of these tones. To make these tones more appealing to buy, they will often be paired with relaxing sounds as background, such as waves on the beach, a gentle voice.
I hope to see my friend and shake his hand. I hope the Pacific is as blue as it has been in my dreams.
Or any other number of nature sounds. When used correctly, auditory entrainment can have numerous effects on you, such as enhanced memory, pain management, improved sleep, and many, many more. Unfortunately, I was unable to find any specific artists that actually use auditory entrainment in their work. But who knows? If you give it a try, maybe it could help you think like an iconoclast yourself.